to Jonathan Taylor. Huge hole. He's at the 30. He's going to go. 10, 5, touchdown. Jonathan Taylor made a man miss the line of scrimmage and then runs it into Pater. A one-handed INT. Are you kidding me? Kenny Moore.
What a play by Nyheim Hines.
Horseshoe is back, baby. The horseshoe is back.
What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another Bring the Juice Colts podcast live stream, coming to you live for the Week 12 matchup between the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans at NRG Stadium, a.k.a. the second home of T.Y. Hilton. I had to throw that one out there because obviously it's that kind of day. So my guy Matt from Inside the Horseshoe podcast joining me. Hey, man, I just want to say, I saw your Twitter announcement yesterday. 600 subscribers, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy, man, because didn't you just hit like 500 last week?
I'm not sure. Like a week or two ago, I think. But, yeah, it's insane.
That was quite the jump, man, because I could have sworn I had just said like a week or two ago, congrats on 500.
Yeah, it was something like that. It's like I saw it was like 500, and all of a sudden there was like a big boom. And I was like, oh, okay, wow.
Hey, man, listen, 400 away from 1K, bro. Almost a chance to potentially get monetized. So
that'd be
congrats
cool.
To you, my guy.
Yeah, it's crazy because, I didn't expect even like 10 people to click subscribe on the channel. I was like, if it's like high school, maybe 5 people subscribe to the channel, those are like the close friends and, that'd be that. And then like there's 20 other people like, I don't like him, but he's tolerable, I guess.
That's great, man. Well, hey, listen, you do a great job, man.
Thank
keep
you.
up with the updates on that, man. Congrats to you, man. You're getting so close to that big achievement.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple people in here. William Steele, what's going on? Indiana Sports Talk, what's going on? So today we lose our first-round draft pick. Yes, it is stated that if Carson plays all the snaps today, the Colts will lose that first-round draft pick. All kind of assumed that was going to happen here at some point. So, it's just kind of how it is. I think you and I have said it multiple times. We've been okay with it. We've seen what Carson Wentz is doing. He's worth a first-round draft pick. You cut your losses and you move on from it. Yeah,
like how I viewed it was if Carson Wentz ends up being good for us, then, hey, I'll be fine with losing a first-round pick because – you don't see a lot of franchise quarterbacks go for a first-round pick. So I was okay with it. If he wasn't working out, then I would be a little upset, but I think he's working out perfectly fine, so I have no issue with him or with us giving up the first-round pick for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, also thank you to the 30 people who are already in here. Greatly appreciate you all. Be sure to like the stream if you haven't already. Helps get it out to more and more people for today's game and helps more people interact with the channel. Also, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. We are less than 600 subs away from 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Cody and I talked about it this year. We thought it was a very possible mark to hit this year. We are still hoping to potentially hit that before the end of the year. We need your guys' help. Thank you all so much for helping us out. Christopher, I just love that there's Colts fan content. Being from Oregon, I've always been the lone Colts fan. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Sup, everyone? Cody's in here as well. Everybody say hey to Cody. FaZe Waterhose is in here. I see him as well. All right, so first thoughts on this game. So this is a little bit different of little bit different kind of matchup than it was the first time. Obviously, the quarterbacks are changing. Tyrod Taylor is now healthy, and he's now playing in this game. A couple other guys got shipped out, especially in the running back room since the last time we saw them. And then David Johnson is not playing supposedly in this game. We'll check the inactives here in a second. But, some things have changed with this Texans team. What do you expect going into this?
For the Texans offensively, I don't expect anything to happen. Like you said, different quarterback. Tyrod Taylor is the better quarterback, but they have nothing on that team. And assuming some of those receivers that are questionable are out, I have no idea what they're going to do. They might as well sign me to a one-day deal.
Yeah, I know. They got a lot of different guys out right now. It's the game plan may not change a whole lot because I don't think they're going to try to run the ball on this team. Even though the Colts have not been good this year at stopping the run, I still don't anticipate them trying in this game. I mean, we got to remember Mills last time they faced us threw the ball 45 times in that game and only completed 29. So, that might be what happens today. Who knows? But let's go to the inactives. All right, let's go to the inactives. Let's see what we got here. The inactive list should be up. So, only inactives today for the Colts are Ben Bannigout, Julian Davenport, Marlon Mack, and Mike Strawn. Nothing too interesting to report there. Although the one person that we will be missing today that is of importance is center Ryan Kelly. It was diagnosed with COVID yesterday. Unfortunate for the Colts. And it also had some concerns about Carson Wentz being so close to him all the time. They wondered, but Carson Wentz supposedly tested negative, doesn't have any issues, close contact, wasn't near him when he actually had it. So they're thinking that he avoided that, which is good for us. I mean, if this was any other week, then I would have said, Matt, that this would have been a huge deal. But with it only being Ryan Kelly, the rest of the offensive line still intact. Danny Pinter, who has had some time on this offensive line, has played, has snapped the ball to Carson Wentz before. So there is some kind of connection there. Not quite what Ryan Kelly is, but Danny Pinter has had time to do something like this. Are you nervous about Ryan Kelly missing today, or do you believe Danny Pinter can fill in the role okay?
If we were playing like Tampa Bay, New England, an average team, a bad team even, maybe, but we're playing the Texans, and I got to try to contain my confidence because last time I was as confident as I am today was week 1 of last season. So I'm trying to avoid that, but I'm not too worried. I don't think Houston is going to really do anything. I mean, any of us could start at center, and I think we'd be fine.
Yeah, I'm not too nervous about him missing it. Right. Obviously, you want to make sure the snaps are good. That's priority number 1, and I'm sure that they're going to get plenty of work done in the this morning on that.
Right.
Also, again, guys, thank you to everyone that's in here. Be sure to like the stream, subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, that's the only big one for the Colts. So thankfully, that's the only thing that we have to worry about. We certainly hope that with Ryan Kelly not being vaccinated, you certainly hope that it doesn't prevent him from, well, thankfully for us, we're on a bye week next week. So it shouldn't mess with him that way. It shouldn't be an issue for him. As crappy as this sounds, it kind of came at a good time for it to happen. Right. So, you're going to miss a game against a really bad defensive line, and then you're going to get a week off, and then you're going to play in 2 weeks. So it should be okay. The one big one that is returning today, Kahari Willis, who practiced all week, came off the IR last week, is finally playing today. So that's awesome. That's great to see that. Getting some more of that secondary help that we need.
Oh, yeah. We can get Sendejo back to the bench.
I would hope so. And I'm going to be pissed if he does play, but it should be Odom. Odom should be playing at free safety right now. For what we've seen from him, he should be playing at free safety right now. I haven't seen the inactives list for the Texans. Oh, it just came up. Came up. Here we go. So Driscoll, their tight end, is out. Terrence Brooks, one of their defensive backs, he's out. Running back David Johnson is out for today. So they got rid of Mark Ingram. Philip Lindsay got shipped out. And David Johnson is now not playing. So
who's
their
running
entire running back room has left the building. So don't know what they're going to do for running back right now. I mean, I'll look at their depth chart.
It's time for the backup linebackers to get some work.
They have Royce Freeman. They have Rex Burkhead.
Okay.
We know Rex, but Rex is not going to break any big runs.
No.
Royce and then Jalen Samuels. So that's the running back room that's going to be going up against Indianapolis this week. But
It's a very, very terrifying running back group right there.
Very, very terrifying. Zach Cunningham, their will linebacker, is also out for this game.
Ooh.
Justin McCray, who, if I can check for this, that is their right guard. So expect some matchups with DeForest Buckner on there, who is, by the way, playing. So
good.
And Jordan Adkins, another one of their tight ends, is out for today. So basically, they got Pharaoh Brown, and he's really the only tight end they really got on this roster right now. So, Texans coming into this game very unhealthy for this. It's going to be a matchup nightmare for them.
I just saw a tweet because I wanted to look at the comments. It's the first one, Mr. Micro, on the comment section there says, you better teach them O-linemen how to catch if it comes down to that.
That's funny. Yeah, I saw that too.
That's great. And apparently Jeff Driscoll's listed as a tight end.
Yeah, for real.
I thought he was a quarterback, but.
All right, so we talked about the inactives. Colts coming into this game a lot more healthy than the Texans. Was kind of that same way the first matchup, too. We had T.Y. Hilton back for that game, and you saw what T.Y. Hilton was able to do in that game, giving them a spark. You wonder if it's going to be the same thing today. We'll talk about that in a second. But kind of wanted to mention this to you all. So we all know the Colts' playoff chances are very, very slim right now when it comes to everything. And right now, Colts sitting at 6-6. They're gonna need to win a lot of these games in order to be able to get in. And we were talking about it. Colts could potentially get in at 10-6. But at the end of the day, also, you can't, or 10-7, but it's going to be one of those things where you can't afford that. You're going to probably have to win out the rest of the year in order to be able to have a good chance to get in. The road to 5-0 starts today. Colts have to take advantage of this game. Again, the Colts should win, but with the way the Texans have been hanging around some of these teams, Matt, does give you a little bit of concern for this matchup because it just seems different when Tyrod Taylor is in there. It just seems like the Texans play a lot more cohesively as a unit. I mean, are you a little bit concerned about how the Colts can start this 5-0 tour off?
I'm not concerned because Frank Reich is really good at not letting his teams that he coaches sleep on other teams. Like, I think everybody pretty much agrees. The Colts should win this game. Frank Reich, whenever he goes up against bad teams, it's rare, unless like the team is in shambles, like in 2019, at that point, we might lose some bad teams. But I mean, he, mostly gets in there, gets the guys focused, doesn't let them look at anybody like they're trash, and, they go in and they win.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, and for the games that matter, you're really going to have to beat the Patriots.
Yes.
You're going to have to beat the Raiders.
Yes.
I mean, you have to beat the teams in the AFC if you want a chance to win, because when it comes down to it, when it comes down to record-wise, it's very important that the Colts win those AFC games in order to get the tiebreakers. That's going to be very important. All right, let's move to the offense here. So what can we expect from the Colts offense today? A lot of people, I saw this earlier in the live stream. I saw one of the comments. They're saying, are we going to run the ball damn game, or are we going to make this another T.Y. Hilton kind of day where, we know what he does against the Texans? I mean, What do you think, Matt? What should the Colts go after in this?
So I would say run the ball. My reason saying that is because the Houston Texans are terrible against the run when it comes to their defense. So I would run the ball. We're going to have success doing that. I would be shocked if Houston goes in and they slow down Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to go for 150 plus today. I mean, he might go for his record, of 252 against Jacksonville last year.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a really, really big day today. The Texans' pass defense, it's not terrible. So you're still going to see Carson Wentz throw it around there. He's had success doing that today, or the last time that they played. I expect TY because, fun fact, it is the 13th, or sorry, it's not the 13th. We're a week off from that. It's week 13. That's what I meant to say. It's week 13. We have number 13. He's going to his favorite stadium.
Outside of Lucas Oil.
Outside of Lucas Oil. Expect him to get 275 yards today. Or something like that. But no, JT's going to have big day, though.
I don't think it's going to happen, but
maybe.
But, I'm going to have a question for you guys here at some point after we get this topic done, because we got to talk about TY. But yeah, I mean, your game plan has to be the same thing that you always have done. You can't go out of your way to try to get to TY in this game. It's just not going to happen that way. Right. I mean, obviously Carson will do what he can to stretch the field a little bit. I hope they do, because the Colts were able to do that the last time. I mean, remember, Carson Wentz only threw the ball 20 times against the Texans the last matchup. He went 11-20. Again, doesn't look like that much, but when you saw the day that Jonathan Taylor was having, especially in the second half, he didn't have to throw the ball much in the second half. And even in those 11 completions, he threw for 225 yards and 2 touchdowns. I mean, Carson Wentz was extending the field a lot in that first half with his throws. And that was opening the game up for Jonathan Taylor to start getting those kinds of runs. So, yes, you do, even with missing Ryan Kelly, you do need to find a way to get those outside runs in order to be able to try and get Jonathan Taylor more involved. And you want to get him away from Danny Pinter in the middle. I'm sure the Texans are going to try to do something to stunt up the middle to try and get at Danny Pinter a little bit. So you want to try to mix some schemes up to get Jonathan Taylor to the outside, because right now the Colts on the edges are doing a fantastic job at run blocking. Also, just a random fact. Do you know that PFF stated that since week 5, that Mark Lewinsky has been the best pass blocking guard in the entire NFL?
I didn't see that.
He is the best pass blocking guard in the entire NFL over the last 7 weeks.
That's crazy.
That's like insane. I didn't even know that. I mean, we were talking about how bad of the year he started out, but apparently he's been doing amazing ever since the month of October. So, I mean, it's crazy to think about.
Hey, I mean, he is a free agent, right? Next year?
Yeah, next year he's going to be a free agent. Yep.
I'd bring him back. You
I'd
bring him and Reed.
You might, but the problem is, somebody might be willing to offer him more money. You have Chris Reed to be there. It's a matter of whether or not you take a chance on Glow or you keep Chris Reed as a primary guard.
Right.
You can't really go wrong with either one. You can kind of make an argument for which one would be more cost effective, but one of them's going to have to go. You can't pay for Chris Reed and Mark Lewinsky, because Mark is 30. Mark is going to get a contract. He's going to get a contract from somebody, and somebody's going to pay him, because when Mark is on his game, he's a really good guard. So
I'd say the main reason why I would try to keep both, though, is because we've already seen with Quinn Nelson, he's had some issues with injuries.
Yeah.
So if you have Chris Reed kind of hanging out, whenever we need to take somebody off the field, whether it's injury reasons or just to give him a breather, you can still throw in Chris Reed to line up there.
Yeah, absolutely. So the offense, guys, like we said, I hope that the Colts do a lot of the same game plan they had last time. We saw Ashton Doolin getting a few snaps these last few weeks, and has really been making good advantage of what he's been able to do with his speed. We saw Paris Campbell be able to stretch the field the last time against the Texans. You wonder if he could do the same thing as Paris, where you were able to extend the field and Carson would be able to make those kinds of throws. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I hope that they, again, like you said, you run the football. It's always worked against this team. The Colts have always continued to do what they got to do, but it's going to be very interesting. All right, let's go to the random fact for today. So I'm going to bring this up. This is going to be a question for you guys. Also, thank you again for everyone that's in here. Like the stream if you haven't already. Greatly appreciate you all. So here is the trivia question for today. So T.Y. Hilton's played in 16 career games against the Texans. His total for 84 catches for 1,596 yards, almost 1,600, and 9 touchdowns. There's only one active receiver in the NFL with better totals versus one specific team. Does anyone know who that receiver is? Only one more receiver in the NFL that's had better stats against one particular team than what T.Y. Hilton does against the Texans.
Jeez.
Matt, you got any guesses?
I don't know. That's on any team, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What receiver that's in the league right now has better total stats against one team?
I have no clue.
Well, I'm seeing some Julio Jones. I'm seeing some Devontae Adams.
Trying to think of somebody who's been in the league for a bit. And we're just talking wide receiver, correct? Not tight end or anything.
Yeah, just strictly wide receivers.
Okay. So I probably would have went
guys
like
who have been in the league for a while.
Yeah, because if I would have went with like tight ends included, well, no, they're not active. Because I would have said Tony Gonzalez against one of his divisional teams, but think of all the receivers that have been in the league for a while. I'll go Rob Gronkowski against.
It's not.
Wait, that's a tight end.
Not tight ends.
Well, beep.
I'll give you a hint. I'll give you a hint. This player 3 years ago was widely regarded as the best wide receiver in the NFL.
He was regarded as the best in the NFL?
Yeah, he was considered probably the best wide receiver in the game 3 years ago.
Oh, 3 years ago.
Yeah, he's injured right now. That's why he's also injured right now.
I'll go Antonio Brown.
Okay.
I'll go Antonio Brown against the Browns.
Okay. All right. Well, I've seen a lot of people say Devontae, so a lot of people say Julio, and then I've seen a lot of people go AB. All right, so I'll give you guys the answer on who it is and against what team. So the only guy that's done better is Julio Jones, and he has done it against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay.
The only wide receiver that has better total stats against one team right now, that is Julio Jones.
Okay.
Yep, it was against Tampa Bay. I don't have the stats completely up in front of me right now, but yes, that was Julio has his way with the Buccaneers apparently. Mm-hmm. So a little random fact there for you guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. All right, let's go into the defense here. So we talked about it. Tyrod Taylor is going to be in this game. You know, is a lot different than a Davis Mills. Hasn't quite put up the stats like Davis Mills has. But again, when Tyrod Taylor's been in this lineup, the Texans just seem to control the ball a lot better.
Right.
In 5 games that Tyrod Taylor has played this year, 921 yards, 5 touchdowns to 4 interceptions with a QB rating of 82.4. Honestly, though, 3 of those interceptions came off of that terrible game against the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. That was his worst game, I would say. But outside of that one game, you know, he's played in the other 4 and has had 5 touchdowns and 1 interception. And I mean, I think Tyrod Taylor just adds a different element because he also has the ability to run. What do you see the Texans being able to do this time with him that they weren't able to do the first time?
So I really don't think much is going to change. I mean, obviously he's better than Davis Mills, but I think our defense and our secondary has improved enough to where I just don't think he's going to really add much more The only reason why he could add, I guess, a little or improve the Texans a little more against us is his ability to run with the ball. But when he goes to throw the football, I'm really not worried. Rocky Sin has played well this year. Isaiah Rodgers has really stepped up and played well. Kenny Moore, our defensive line is getting better with getting pressure. It's not great, but Kwity Paye is getting better. DeForest Buckner is obviously in there, and he's going to, have 2 or 3 guys on him covering him.
Yeah.
And then, maybe Dio will do some stuff today, but yeah, I really don't think he's going to add a whole lot to this team.
Yeah, I would agree the same way. I'll go as far as to say, I just don't think they're going to try to run the ball at all unless it's with Tyrod because, like I said, their 3 best running backs are no longer either part of the team or injured. So, it's kind of one of those things where, they would be very sparing, I think, with their running backs. I think they're going to probably use the same approach and just try to throw the ball that many times. But, that just doesn't seem like a recipe for success when it comes to Tyrod Taylor, mainly because I don't think I've ever seen him throw that many times. He probably would use his legs a lot more often. So, that kind of brings it to the next question. Anyone on this offense scare you? The last time that we played them, and I'll pull the stats up here. Mark Ingram, 18 carries for 73 yards. I think 55 of those yards came in the fourth quarter when the Colts were already beating the crap out of them. Brandon Cooks, who was the only receiver that was doing anything for him in that game, had 9 catches for 90 yards. He was he was easily their most targeted wide receiver. I think he got targeted like 13 times in that game. So about a fourth of the throws that Davis Mills had that game went to Brandon Cooks, or more than that, actually. Anyone else scare you, or do you think this just – and by the way, Brandon Cooks is expected to play today, but he was kind of dealing with a little bit of an injury.
Nobody really scares me on the Texans offense. I would say if anybody, maybe Tyrod Taylor, but I'm not too worried about him. Brandon Cooks, I don't think is going to be that big of a factor as long as we do the same thing that we did last time against him. He's not going to have any big plays or anything. So, I'm not too worried about him.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it either. Who steps up on the defense today? Last time that the Colts played against the Texans, I'll pull up some of the stuff that we had. Bobby Okereke led the team in that game with 14 tackles. Kenny Moore had 10 tackles. Darius Leonard had a interception and a forced fumble in that game. So he was the turnover machine in that game. Isaiah Rodgers had his first interception of the season in that game. It's where we finally started to see Isaiah Rodgers really coming onto the scene. Who steps up today? Obviously, I mentioned they're missing one of their right guards. That leaves some help for DeForest Buckner coming in. And, it could mean that they're going to provide even more help on stopping DeForest Buckner. And that might make it even better for some of our edge guys.
I think Dio is going to have a good game today. I just have a feeling he's going to have one of those games where a lot of people, that is true.
Yeah,
that could be for sure.
With the $2 super chat. Thank you, man. Yep. This may be TY's last visit to Houston as a Colt. Yeah, it might be possible. Like you certainly hope that it won't be, but it could possibly be. At least if you hope let's hope he just at least gets a touchdown. I would like to at least see a T.Y. Hilton touchdown one last time.
Me too, for sure. But I'm not going to pick any of the guys that are obviously they're going to have a big game or a good game like Kenny Moore, Darius Leonard, because that's to be expected. But as far as guys that aren't expected to have big games, I'll go Dio. I think Dio's going to step up. Gotcha.
All right, well, let's talk about some fantasy options for today. Obviously, you don't want to keep Jonathan Taylor on your bench for today. If you got him on your lineup, you better make sure you have him. Who steps up outside of that? Because, given the history of a T.Y. Hilton, do you take the chance on him having a good fantasy day today?
I think I will. I think I would go T.Y. I know he hasn't had like a big year numbers wise, but I think T.Y. is going to have a really good game today. So I would go with him. Maybe I like the flex option. And then depending on who your quarterback is, I think Carson Wentz might be a good fantasy option too. He shouldn't be turning the ball over today. They're going to be able to run the ball very well, which is going to open up the play action. So I think Carson Wentz another. And then obviously you got to start Jonathan Taylor.
Hey, guys, let's try to get to 50 likes on the stream. We got 75 of you in here right now, only 35 likes. Let's try to get to 50.
Let's get 50.
Is there anyone on the offense for the Texans that you think could be a serviceable option on fantasy today for deep leagues?
Maybe Brandon Cooks, because he'll get some of those 5 to 10 yard catches, 10 being the absolute most. But I'd say Brandon Cooks is it.
Yeah, Brandon Cooks, I think, will still get his targets. He'll still get his catches. I think it'll be good for him. All right, let's go to some games on the league here. Let me pull up the NFL schedule for today, and let's talk about some games. So, first game, the Minnesota Vikings versus the Detroit Lions. Who you got?
I'm going to go upset here. Give me the Detroit Lions getting their first win. I'm going to ride with them until they get the win. Minnesota, look, they don't have Dalvin Cook today. They've had games where you would think they would win rather easily, and they've struggled. I mean, Kirk Cousins, he's been having a good year, surprisingly, but I think Detroit's going to get it done today. I think so.
I want to, but just to spare myself, I think the Vikings still win. So,
okay.
The New York Giants versus the Miami Dolphins.
Tua's playing, right?
Yes, I think he is.
I will go Miami. Miami's actually been playing pretty good lately. So I will go with the Dolphins.
Yeah, I think their defense is going to make life hell for the Giants. So I think they'll be good. All right, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going against the Atlanta Falcons.
Tampa Bay. Although it would be very Tampa Bay-ish for them to lose this year.
Yeah, the Falcons, every year, they pull one win out of their ass that always just makes you go, wow, really?
Yeah.
I think that could be today, but I'm not going to bet my chips on it. I'll still go Tampa.
Yeah.
All right, the Philly Eagles versus the New York Jets.
You know what? It's the start of Minshew Mania today in Philadelphia. Gardner Minshew's he's going to play with a mission, and that's to take Jalen Hurts' job. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, I'll go Eagles too. All right, the Arizona Cardinals versus the Chicago Bears.
Cardinals. Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins are playing today. So,
okay. Yeah,
definitely
I would say the same thing. I don't think the Bears have any shot in that one.
No.
Chargers versus the Bengals.
This is tough. I will go.
If I can interlude, just one real quick fact for you, see if this maybe changes how you view things.
Yeah.
The Bengals, I think, are only having 2 of their starting offensive linemen in this game. Only 2. The other 3 are hurt. So if that changes your mind on anything, the Chargers have been one of the absolute worst defenses in the league at stopping the run.
Right.
The Bengals have been one of the best at running the football. But with how bad their offensive line's banged up right now, it could be different.
Yeah. That's what happens when you don't draft a offensive lineman with your first pick, even though you get a dynamic receiver. I'm still going to go with the Bengals.
Okay.
I'll go with them. Close game.
I think the Chargers are going to pull this one out. I think that they understand the assignment right now. I think they realize how their dreams are slipping away right now. And I think they're going to try to take advantage of how much of the offensive line's not playing right now. So I will just go ahead and give that one to the Chargers. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars versus the LA Rams. Oh, I don't hear you. I don't hear you at all. Heck. Hey, Matt, your mic's muted.
Okay, that's weird.
You pulled your headphone out and then it muted you.
So yeah, StreamYard muted me. I don't get why.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know why I did that. Which game was it again?
The Jags versus the Rams.
Give me the Jaguars. The Rams are just
do that.
Look, the Rams are not playing great right now. Matthew Stafford has been playing bad.
Raheem.
I'm going with the Jaguars.
I'm not doing that. Give me the Rams.
Okay.
All right. The Washington football team versus the Las Vegas Raiders.
I'm going to go with the Washington football team today. They're on a 3-game winning streak. They're playing good. The defense seems to be playing better right now. I'm going to go with the football team.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Washington here as well. And I also say that because the Colts kind of need their help to knock the Raiders out one more game because,
right.
Cody's like Matt living on the edge.
Yeah.
What are you smoking?
Hey, look, when they win.
Oh my gosh.
You know
when
where
they
it came
win,
from. I picked the Jets to beat the Titans.
To Matt by subscribing to his YouTube channel.
Yes, all 79 of you, 83 of you.
Yes, exactly. All right. The Baltimore Ravens versus the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Give me the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. It's just Pittsburgh's just not playing very well right now. So 49ers versus the Seattle Seahawks.
Look, Seattle's trash right now. Mm-hmm. Give me the 49ers.
Yeah, I mean, Seattle's not been playing very well. Even with Russell Wilson coming back, they haven't looked the same. And the 49ers at least are able to run the football the way they like and are able to control the clock a lot better. I think the 49ers will get it. The Sunday night football matchup between the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm going to go Kansas City. They're playing exactly like what we thought they would be early on in the year. So I go the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs are starting to finally figure it out. Their offense is being a lot more efficient, and their defense has finally awoken. It's not an elite defense, but it's playing a whole heck of a lot better than what it was early in the season. So they're getting some stops, and that's helping their offense out. So, yeah, I'll go Chiefs as well. Okay, Monday Night Football. The New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, this is an important game.
It is.
So, some people would say root for the Patriots to win because if the Bills lose, they fall behind the Colts. I say root for the Bills to win today because rather than being down 2 games to the Patriots, we're only down 1 game with an opportunity to take the lead in 2 weeks.
Right.
Patriots are playing really, really good right now. But I think Buffalo realizes that this is a must-win game for them. They do not want to lose that division to a rookie quarterback that isn't in the greatest of shape, it looks like, that, is named... What's his name? It's something stupid. It's like Macintosh Jones or whatever. What does his name stand for? It's something really stupid. His name is Michael McCordle Mac Jones. You gonna lose to a quarterback named McCordle? No, give me Buffalo.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I think Buffalo does realize how important this game is because you're right. If they lose it, especially at home, that could be a very big loss to this team. And, both these teams are really freaking good. New England's playing at a very good pace right now, even though Buffalo just got trounced against the Colts 2 weeks ago. It still doesn't change the fact that this Buffalo team can hang 40 on anyone that they want to, and their defense is still good.
Yeah.
I'll go with the Bills in this one, and then that way they tie it up. I mean, you're right, because if the Bills somehow lose a few games down the line and the Colts can tie the record with them, then you're right. That makes it to where if the Colts beat the Bills and New England and these two teams have the same record, then it helps because that puts the Colts in a better position going forward. So, yeah, I'll take the Bills in this one. I think they know what's at stake here. I'll take that one. All right. And so the final one, the one that is most important, and that is the Colts versus the Texans. What's your final score prediction for that?
So I keep going back and forth on what the score is going to be. I'm going to go Colts in this one. I think when I was on the pregame preview video on Friday, I said Colts win 38-15. I'm going to go Colts win 38-6. I think Houston gets the ball down the field twice. Colts stop them, and then they kick some field goals. Jonathan Taylor's going to have 3 rushing touchdowns today. Carson Wentz is going to have he'll have 2 passing touchdowns, and then they'll have a field goal because they feel bad.
I'm going to say the final score will be 34-17 Colts. I think that Tyrod Taylor is going to get them a few touchdowns in this game. Don't know how, but they are going to get a couple of them, so I will go with that.
Right.
But the Colts will end up still winning significantly, and we'll be able to move on from that. All right, well, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you all again so much for tuning in. Be sure to like the stream. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Less than 600 subs away from our 10K goal that we set this year. Thank you all for the support. Be sure to tune in to the live play-by-play game, which we will be having up at 12:45. That stream will be up then, and you guys get to watch that with me as we talk about the game. But thank you guys again so much. Oh, and I think we just lost Matt there. That's unfortunate. StreamYard's messing with him today. There he is. Okay. Your mic's not working again, man. You're not muted, but Matt's not muted, but his mic's not working. Check your settings, bro. Check your settings. Make sure it's. I can't hear him. I can't hear him. His stream is messing with him. I think we're just gonna end it there with that one, guys. But thank you guys again so much for the support. Don't know what's going on with his internet, but we'll have to check that. Thank you guys again so much for the support. And as always, go Colts.